Morning, everyone. Okay, so I want to start with going through the homework. So this is what we did in the live lesson on Friday. We went through a difference of two squares. So let's just get these done. Okay, so A. Right, so we have 16a squared minus 121, and we're trying to solve it so it's equal to 0. So how do we know I'm just going to go, I know we did this, but I'm just going to go through it. How do we know it's a difference of two squares? So there were three things. It has two terms, and those two terms are the squared term and the constant term. So it is missing the x term. Okay, obviously this one's in A, so it's missing the A term. And the other way we knew is that the numbers are squares themselves. Yeah? And then the last thing, I'll just put it here, is that you always have that minus. Okay? So we've identified that it's a difference of two squares. So the first thing we do is we open up a bracket and we have to figure out what's being squared there. Minus, open up a bracket, we need to figure out what's being squared there. Okay, so when there's numbers and letters, you do it separately. So what's been squared to give you 16? 4. And what's been squared to give you a squared? It's a. What's been squared to give you 121 is 11. Okay, then we open up our brackets and we do first minus second, first plus second. So the first one minus the second one, the first one plus the second one. Just add me equals 0. This is not based on anything I've seen from you guys, but just a common mistake is that you end up with squares in here. So when you do the first minus second, first plus second thing, you should never have squares in it. Okay? So we'll split the page. We've now gotten, I won't keep doing this, but we've now gotten to the point where we have factors. Okay, there's your two factors. So the action we have done is we have factorized. Yeah? So now we're going to move on to the solving stage where we take 4a minus 11 and we let it equal 0, and we take 4a plus 11 and we let it equal 0. We are trying to isolate the a. So we're going to get rid of the minus 11 with a plus 11 and then a plus 11 to balance. So now I have 4a equals 11. Still trying to get that a. At the moment, it is being multiplied by 4. So I'm going to divide it by 4 and then divide by 4 on the other side. So I get a equals 11 over 4. Now you can put that as a decimal if you want, but generally I tend not to. So over here, isolating the a, we're going to need to get rid of the plus 11. So minus 11 for balance. Then it's 4a equals minus 11. And then to isolate the a, we need to divide by 4, and that will cancel it. Divide by 4 to balance. And like I said with these ones, you will always get a pair, 1 plus, 1 minus. Okay? The second one, so I'm just going to move across here. What was the second one? 81y squared minus 81y squared minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so we open up our brackets. Okay, so what's been squared here? To get 81, 9. Sorry. To get 81, 9. And to get the y squared, y. What's been squared to get 1? 1. Okay, so then we do the first one minus the second one, the first one plus the second one. Okay, so I'm going to throw in my divider. No, I'm not. Try it again. Okay. So I let my 9y minus 1 equal 0 and my 9y plus 1 equals 0. We're going to try and isolate these y's. So We need to get rid of the minus 1 with a plus 1 and a plus 1 for balance. So 9y equals 1. And then we need to get rid of the 9. So we divide by 9 and we divide by 9. So then y is 1 over 9. And then the same thing on this side, we minus the 1 to cancel, minus the 1 to balance. 9y equals minus 1. And then we divide by 9 on both sides. That will cancel. So y is minus a ninth. I didn't finish this off over here. I'm just going to go back. So just a reminder, these are called roots. And what have we done? We have solved. Okay, so now I have 2 of them solved. So the last one is 49x squared minus 169. 49x squared minus 169 equals 0. Okay, so what's being squared? 49 is 7, and the x squared is x, and 169 is 13. Okay, so the first one minus the second one, the first one plus the second one. Factorized, so now we will solve a bit there. So 7x minus 13 equals 0, and 7x plus 13 equals 0. So we'll plus the 13 to cancel and plus the 13 for balance. 7x equals 13. And then we will divide by 7 to cancel and divide by 7 to balance. So x equals 13 over 7. And then on this side, we minus the 13 to cancel, minus the 13 to balance. 7x equals minus 13. And then we divide by 7 to cancel and divide by 7 to balance. And we get x is minus 13 over 7. Okay, so they are the 3 homework solutions. I obviously sped up as I was going through them. They're the same thing 3 times. So let me know. I'll add in actually, so in the collaboration space, there will always be a page. So today is the 20th, and today we are doing, okay, so if you have any questions at all on that homework, throw it into that section, please. Okay, so, sorry now. Okay, so now we have done highest common factor, difference of 2 squares. So today we're going to do the trinomials. Okay, so here we go. So these are always, students never have problems identifying these ones. The word try there, because it has 3 terms. Nothing is missing. It will have an x squared term, an x term, and a constant term. Okay, so it's always easy to pick out because it's the only one with 3. Okay, so let's see, do we remember how to do it? So we have x squared plus 10x plus 16, and again, because we're going to solve, we have an equals 0, okay? So like in all the questions we've done, it starts with factorize and then it asks you to solve, okay? So trinomials are done using the guide number method. So to get the guide number, you multiply the first number by the last number. Okay, so the first number is here in front of x squared, and the fact that there's nothing there means we have an invisible 1. And the last number is here, it's the constant. Okay, so you find the first number in front of x squared, and the last number is the constant term. Yeah? So we multiply 1 by 16 and we get 16 as our guide. Now we're going to do the factors of 16. So 1 by 16, 2 by 8, and 4 by 4. Okay? So I'm going to do it in a different colour. Your first step is here to find the guide number. So actually find the guide number. Okay, and I've told you there how to do it. Ooh. Your second step is to find the factor pairs of the guide number, which is this. Okay? Your third step is to pick the factor pair that make the middle term. Okay? So, the middle term in this question is there, plus 10x. So we look at our numbers here. We have a 1 and a 16. So if we add 1 and 16, we'll get 17. And if we subtract them, we'll get 15. So neither of them are 10. 2 and 8. If we add 2 and 8, we get 10. So that will work. And you just have to check that the other one won't work. So if we add 4 and 4, we get 8. So that doesn't work. Okay, so this one won't work. This one won't work, which means we're going to use this one here. Okay, now it's important to look at, it's important to look at the sign. So we're trying to get a plus 10. So to use 2 and 8 to get a plus 10, we'd need to have a plus 2 and a plus 8. Agreed? Plus 2 plus 8 makes 10. Okay, so that's the third thing. The fourth thing then is to rewrite your trinomial as a 4-term expression. Okay, so we're going to rewrite it. So we write the x squared because that hasn't changed. Now you're going to take this 10x and you're going to split it up. So it's going to be 2x and 8x. So whatever you decided to use over here, you split 10x up into that, and then you have your plus 16. Okay, next is you factorize by grouping. Okay, so we did this last year, so I'll just go through it in case you've forgotten. But you group the first two. Oh, I'll change colour. And you group the second two. And you do a highest common factor. So what's the common factor between x squared and 2x? It's x. And then we're going to divide by that x here, and we're going to divide by that x here. So x squared divided by x is x, and then these x's will cancel, leaving you with 2, close your bracket. Now we look at the red bracket. So what's common here? There is a plus 8 common. So I'm going to divide this by 8, and I'm going to divide this by 8. So I'll open up my bracket. The 8's will cancel, leaving me with x plus, and then 16 divided by 8 is 2. You need these to match. Sorry. So you need those two to match. If they do, you write down the matching brackets and you write down the spares. So the spares are here and here, and they go in their own bracket, x plus 8. And that's it. They're your answers. So they are your factors. Yeah, so that's the answer to part A. And then I'm just going to go way over here, x plus 2, x plus 8. Okay, and for part B, they want us to solve, and this is no different than what we've done for all the other questions. So we split our page, we take x plus 2 and let it equal 0, and we take x plus 8 and let it equal 0. We want to isolate our x's, so here we'll need to minus the 2. So x equals minus 2. And on the other side, we'll need to minus the 8 to get it to cancel. So x equals minus 8. And now it's solved. Okay, so the solving step is the same in all of them. It's just the first bit, the factorizing bit, that's different. Okay, so I've got kind of a guide on how to do it there, which is handy. That's it there. How do you do the guide number? And then I went through it. So I'll go through this second one now as well, but you might need to go back and go over that a few times and get the hang of it, all right? So let's try this one. So we have x squared minus 4x minus 21. So the first thing we need to do is get the guide number. So we take the first number in front of the x squared, which is missing, so it's a 1. And then the last number, which is the constant, which is minus 21, and we multiply them. So 1 multiplied by minus 21 is a guide number of minus 21. Okay, for a minute we could ignore the minus, just do factors of 21. So 1 times 21 and 3 times 7? That's it, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so now we're on to step 3 now, where we're going to pick the factor pair that makes the middle term. Okay, so I only have 2. So I have 1 and 21. If I add them, if I add 1 and 21, I get 22. And if I subtract them, I get 20. So neither of them are minus 4. So that's not going to work. Now, I have 3 and 7. If I add them, I get 10. If I subtract them, I get 4. Okay, so this will work. Now, so I'm going to pick this, but I need minus 4. So what signs do these have to have in order to get me a minus 4? I would need this to be plus and this to be minus. 3 minus 7 is minus 4, and that's my middle number, so that works. Okay, now I'm on step 4, which is rewrite the trinomial as a 4-term expression. So the x squared is unchanged. This gets split up, so plus 3x minus 7x. Now, the x's aren't over here, but don't forget to add them, okay, because they have to be added because it's the 4x that you're splitting up, and then minus 21. Okay, then we group them, so we're into step 5. We're doing factorizing by grouping, so I'm going to group these together, and I'm going to group these together. Okay, common factor in the first bracket is x, so we're going to divide the first bit by x and the second bit by x. So I'll open my bracket. X squared divided by x is x, and then these x's will cancel and I just get plus 3. Move into the red bracket. So what's common? I have a minus 7 common to both. So it means I'm going to take that minus 7 and I'm going to divide it here and I'm going to divide it here. Okay? So the minus 7 and the minus 7 cancel out, leaving you with x. And here, 2 minuses make a plus. So the same signs make a plus. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. So I said if these brackets match, you've done it correctly, and they do. So I write down the matching brackets, and I write down the bits on the outside, x minus 7. So now I have my factors, and then I just need to continue to solve. So we will split our page. Oh, don't need that much. Okay, so I do x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 7 equals 0. Remove the plus 3 with a minus 3 and balance. So x equals minus 3. And remove the minus 7 with a plus 7 and balance that. And I get x equals 7. and they are my roots, and that equation is solved. Okay, so yeah, make sure you take down all your notes on that. And for homework, I think we'll look at question 7. Let's go with 7 and 9. Yeah? So take those down and try questions 7 and 9, and they're due for Friday, okay? And again, if you have any questions, please throw them into this section of the collaboration space that's called Quadratic Trinomials. All right, I'll talk to you Friday.